Hey everyone. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a projectile that whenever you press button B or enter on the keyboard, it will come out of your sprite. And then also I'm going to show you how to create a status bar, a status bar on your enemy so that you have to defeat the enemy after so many shots at them. Okay, let's get started. So first off, let's create a projectile sprite that whenever you press button, I'm going to do button B, but whatever button you want, it shoots that projectile out from your sprite. So to do that, we're going to go into your controller here and you're going to grab an on A button pressed. And now I already have A, so I need to change that to whatever, B, left, up, right, down, it doesn't matter. B is easy because on the keyboard, A is like a space bar and then B is enter. So I got that. And now what I need to do is I need to create a sprite there. You're actually not going to want to grab that first block that we've been grabbing quite a bit of. You're going to scroll down until you see the one that's under projectiles. It says set projectile to, and then whatever projectile it is from my sprite with a velocity of X and velocity of Y. So you're going to grab this one and you're going to then just drag that into your on button B press thing. Okay, cool. So when I press button B, I want to create my projectile, and then which projectile is it? The gallery has quite a few projectiles. However, I just created my own because I know that I think maybe deer spit when they're angry. I don't know. So I made a spit block. Things to pay attention to with this is my sprite itself, I think is 16 by 16 pixels. And so that was the default. And then when I created my spit, I just kept the default at 16 by 16 and it was like a huge spit wad. So I did half that size. So I did an 8 by 8 and yeah. Okay, cool. So I created my projectile and I want the projectile to come from my deer. So I need to change my variable here to deer. And then velocity of X and velocity of Y, I'll show you in the video here, or in the game here, if you change well, right now the default is the X velocity is 50 and then the Y velocity is 50. And remember, positive Y goes down. So that means my projectile should come out of my deer like at an angle going down. So if I am correct, when I press enter, as you can see there, it's coming out of the deer, but it's going kind of vertically down or diagonally down. I want it so that it just shoots straight out this way. So I want it to be positive X, but I want the Y to just be 0. So to do that, I'm just going to change my VY to 0. And now, now there you go. When I press enter or B, it spits straight out. Okay, cool. There is that block. All right, so now I have my spit. Now I want to make it so that the bear has a little status bar there. Oh, I found a hiding spot. Oh, I lost. Okay, sorry. Let me show you how to do this. Okay, so status bars are actually an extension on MakeCode. MakeCode has a lot of different extensions, and I've actually added a few here just because I was playing around with it. But to get into that, you're going to have to go into your advanced down here. And then at the very bottom, you're going to see one that says extensions, and you're going to want to click on that. And then if you just search status bar, this is the one you're going to want, and you just click on that, and your screen will refresh. And then you should see now over here in your blocks, you should see one that says status bars. And that's what we're going to be using to create the status bar for our enemy. Okay, so I am going to scroll down here to look at the code that I'm going to recreate with you. Let me pull that out. All right, so first you need to create your status bar. So you're going to go here into your status bar and you're going to just create this one right here that says set status bar 2. And plop that into your code where you have created your bear or whatever your enemy is. So for here, I created it whenever my sprite overlapped the enemy creator sprite. It destroyed the enemy creator and then it created my bear sprite, which is an enemy. So here you want to set your status bar. You can keep the variable status bar because like that's what it is. and you can play with the width and the height of it. That's the default is 20 width by 4 height, but whatever you want. And then instead of health, I'm going to change this to enemy health, which is one of the ones that it comes with, but you could do energy, you could do magic, whatever. You could add your own kind, but I'm going to do enemy health because that is what that is. And then when I create that, okay, so I believe when I create that, it's not, oh, there we go. I don't know if you saw it, but the status bar is actually on the deer and I want to have it on the bear. So to do that, I need to add that code to it. And that code is going to be back into the status bar thing. And I want to find the one that says attach status bar. Where is it? Oh, it's right in front of me. Okay, so right here, we're under attach. You see this attached status bar to my sprite. I'm going to just drag that and put it underneath where I created my status bar. And you just want to make sure you are attaching the correct status bar if you have multiple. And then what are you attaching it to? Well, I want to attach it to my bear. And then if you click on this plus here, you can kind of offset it a little bit if you wanted to, but I'm just going to have it attached to the bear. So now, okay, so now when I run into the tree, as you can tell there, the status bar is attached to the top of the bear. And I think I might actually want to do a little offset there for that. Okay, so I paused the video for a second and I actually played with the padding and the offset, and padding is like the Y direction. So now the bar is 10 pixels higher up of the bear and the offset is the X direction. So FYI. All right, cool. So I have the status bar attached to the bear. Now I want to make it so that when I shoot my projectile at the bear, the status bar is going to go down. So again, that's going to be our favorite block where I go into my sprites here and I grab my on sprite of kind player overlaps other sprite here. So the sprite that I want to overlap is I want my projectile, which is my spit here. I created that projectile as a projectile, sorry. So when that sprite overlaps the enemy, because that's the deer is the kind of sprite that the bear is the enemy, I'm going to change the status bar. So to do that, I just click here on status bar, and then you should see a block towards the top that says change status bar value by, and you can change those numbers up. I just did -1, but if you want it to make more damage, you could do like -5 or something like that. All right, so there is that block that I have recreated. Pop that one out so that this one exists. All right, cool, there we go. Okay, so now when I I'm hitting the wrong button. Okay, well, it would have worked. Now when I press enter, hit B, my projectile will hit the enemy and his status bar will go down a little bit. Just trust me, it does work. Okay, so now finally, the last thing I want to do for this is that when I want to destroy the bear when his status bar, his health is at 0. So to do this, I'm going to go back into my status bar and I'm going to scroll down to events. And I want it to say that on status bar kind, this first one here. And okay, cool. So I just want to make sure that I change this to enemy health because that's the kind of status bar that I've created. And we want it so that when that enemy health is at 0 status, I want to destroy the bear, and then I'm going to change my score. So to destroy the bear, I go into my sprites, and I find the sprite that says destroy, which is in effects here, and scroll it in there. And what I want to just make sure that my variable name is correct. So what am I destroying? I'm destroying the bear. And then you can add an effect to it. I did a halo effect, but you could do like a ashes. Let's see what ashes is. That's a little harsh, but that's okay. Cool. So it should destroy the bear with ashes. And then I also want to add my add score to it. So to do that, I go into info. You got your score here. You can change your score by, and I changed it to 20. All right. So let's see what this looks like if I can play correctly. Okay. So I'm very bad at video games, but I'm going to attempt to show you. There's the bear, and I have, there you go. So I just if you saw there in the video, the status bar was slowly going down. And then after shooting him so many times, he just disintegrated. So there you go. Oh, actually I did a halo effect. So there you go. The ashes didn't end up happening. So that is this round of video games. If I went back into my goal, one of my goals was to create a bear, and you have to beat the bear in order to get to Dipper the dog, which now I had the chance to do that. The next video I'm gonna show you now my second goal, which is to create that anxiety of having to collect the plants until before time runs out. That's going to be the next video. Happy coding!